Welcome back to the Latrobe Youth Space Podcast with Brenton. Today we're going to have a bit of a chat about the Latrobe Valley community and why I think it's awesome living in a rural community. Personally, I've lived in the Latrobe Valley my whole life. I was fourth generation on the property in Yanar South that I grew up on, and my family's been here forever. We've got some heirlooms that date back to World War II from living up there on the farm, and I think it's important to recognize and to take pride in the community that you live in. And I think we've got a lot in this community that we can really take pride in. And personally, I'm not a city person, clearly, but different people make up the world. So people that enjoy living in cities and stuff, that's really awesome. But I think it's important to recognize that us here in a small town or in a more rural community, we have benefits to the way to our lifestyle as well. Yeah, there are some clear benefits to living in a city. So, say up in Melbourne, I know personally, I have to go up to Melbourne to see live bands. Even Aussie bands. There's just not the touring and local music. And even local bands, they still have to perform up in Melbourne. So there's not quite as many opportunities for that kind of thing down here. But we do have a lot of awesome stuff going on down here, and I think a community such as the Latrobe Valley, we need people that do take pride in the community and that will step forward and try to make changes in the community or try to help strengthen the community. And I think the Latrobe youth community is a prime example of exactly that happening. Here at Latrobe Youth Space, we've got our Youth Governance Committee, our YGC, and you can't find a better example of the future of a community really stepping up and taking that responsibility and really trying to make a difference. So our YGC are absolutely fantastic examples of that. So what are some of the benefits that I see to living in a rural community? Well, first off, I think we have more connection. We have more connection with each other. This is especially true for small towns and the more remote communities, I suppose. But it's quite easy often to find people, you might bump into a stranger and have a conversation, and, there's probably a pretty good chance that you each have a friend of a friend or, some kind of community connection, whether it's through work or personal life. And I think that's something really cool. It makes, for me personally, that makes me feel really, I don't know, safe and at home here, because there's this sense of connectedness that goes throughout everyone that you bump into. And I think that that's really cool. Another major benefit, I think, to living in a rural community is the outdoors. I love getting outdoors, stuff like fishing and camping and everything like that. And there are opportunities that we have right in our back door, to just go out and experience nature and to go out and just have some fun. There are plenty of areas around here to go camping, to go on bushwalks. You've got the Mall National Park just outside of Churchill is just one example off the top of my head. And there really is just so much you can just get out there and just enjoy the, what living in a rural community really is. I love the views. You're driving around, I live in Churchill. So even around Churchill, you've got all the Geraldines and that up nearby, those hills, and it's just gorgeous to look at. And these are things that I think we often overlook. We have all of this kind of beauty around us and we don't really stop to acknowledge it sometimes because we're so busy with our lives. We forget to think, oh, well, our area is actually really awesome. We have all of these really awesome natural gifts all around us. And I think it's sometimes important to just stop and take that in. I know that's probably one of the biggest reasons when I go fishing. I enjoy my fishing and I like to sit back and, have a look around. And even if I'm not catching anything, I like just soaking it in with wherever I happen to be. Just looking at the environment and just enjoying being in the moment and soaking in all of that, awesome rural beauty that's all around you. I think that, it's important to take those few seconds, those few moments out and just look around and appreciate where it is that we are and how lucky we are to be living in an area that's just filled with so much natural beauty and, the wildlife and everything. It really is fantastic, an awesome experience. So remember to just take those moments, take those breathers and just soak it in a bit. Then this is, I guess, more specific to our area in Latrobe Valley, if you really think about it, we're within about an hour and a half to 2 hours of basically anything that you could ever wish for. Within an hour and a half to 2 hours, we have a city in Melbourne that we can go to. We have beaches over at, say, Inverloch or Lakes Entrance. That's a bit further, but still. We have snow up in Baw and Hotham and stuff like that. We have everything you could possibly wish for within an hour and a half, 2 hours drive. And I think that is so cool. If you, for a weekend, you can go, oh, okay, well, I feel like snow this weekend, or I feel like the beach if it's summer, or, it's the logistics of where we live. I think we are really, really lucky, and as I said before, we also have access to all of these, state parks and everything that are filled with all of that natural beauty as well. So I think, we're really, really lucky here with where we are, to even just the logistics of it, to be so close and have so many opportunities to see so much of what Australia has to offer so close to where we live. And again, I think that's something that is important to recognise and to take pride in, because, not many people have those opportunities to, have all of this so close to where we are. Within a day, we can see whatever it is we want to see. So that's something else to consider. Get out there, go out there and experience the snow, experience the beach, build up that photo album in your head that, all of those memories, of all of those experiences. You'll always look back on this stuff and enjoy it time and time again. So this has been another podcast with Latrobe Youth Space, having a bit of a chat about our area and what's great about here, why we love it, or why I love it, and some of the opportunities that are so close by. Tune in next time with the next Latrobe Youth Space podcast.